literally learning something new every week. If you listen to people that give input, everybody will as well. The most important tool that we deal with is compost. There's a whole lot of different kinds of compost, different qualities of compost, different ways to use compost. There are organic fertilizers, several that are represented here today, that have a base of compost. Earthworm caskets, there's some people here today that are in that business if you want to talk more about that specifically. I consider to be one of the highest quality composts there is. So that's number one. The number one group of tools that we use are what we would put in the category of compost and just things that will provide organic matter. Not organic material, organic matter. Organic matter is broken down organic material into what's called technically humus, and that is where it gets to the active part of the organic carbon materials that we use. That's category number one. Category number two that we use as tools for going organic are rocks, ground up rock material. And I guess I got more criticism about this part of my recommendations early on than anything. Now most people have bought into this, and they should because it works so well. But the bottom line on this is very simple. Whatever your project, wherever you are doing your landscape, your golf course, your farm, ranch, whatever it is, if you will bring in and broadcast ground up rock materials that are a different color, thus a different chemistry, a different makeup than what you have, you will see an increase in growth. That's oversimplification, but it actually works that simply. The volcanic materials are the best of the ground up rock materials. And one of the things that I specifically recommend for a long time is the one on the right there, on the left. That's lava sand. I'm getting a little nervous about continuing to recommend lava sand as much as I used to do because I'm not comfortable with the supply. It's coming from one guy in one company right now in New Mexico, and I don't think the guy understands lava sand very well at all. And I hate to say that, but it's just the truth. And here's the deal: if lava sand comes from one cinder cone, it held one paramagnetic value. If it comes from another cinder cone, it may have another, and they can be tremendously different. If it doesn't have this property called paramagnetism, you don't get near the benefit. You'll still get some benefit, but it's probably not worth the money over using some ground up rock that's available for you locally. Something like ground up granite, or we have a decomposed granite in Texas. It's just dug out of the ground and it's already real nice and friable. It's a beautiful product. Zeolite has become an extremely important tool in the rock category of my recommendations. Depends on where you are in the country. There'll be some volcanic or granite or some sort of rock that's available that's different from your base rock and will give you some benefit. Also in this category, I put expanded shale. Now, expanded shale is a man-made product. It's a product that comes out of the manufacturing of lightweight concrete and cinder blocks, and it's kind of popped like popcorn, not into a light product like perlite. It's still a heavier material. The natural shale is fired at about 2,000 degrees, somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 degrees, and it creates this man-made product. And people sometimes are surprised that I'm recommending this man-made product that has to be fired, use energy to make it. But the fact is, it's a waste material. It's there. It's thrown off as a byproduct when they're making these other products. It will do something in the soil that other rock materials won't do. And this is it. When you prepare a bed with using the expanded shale, and then you have to go back and replant something at some point, and you dig in it, it stays looser than from any other material I've ever used. I don't exactly understand that, but it works. The material on the right is the dry molasses I was talking to you about. That's what it looks like. The only word of precaution there is the first time you use it, don't go out and do it in the morning when there's dew on the ground, or when it's misty. You're going to end up being a great big caramel piece of candy. It'll stick to air with all your equipment and become a big mess. That won't hurt anything, it's just a big messy deal. Now, these are kind of funny, simple experiments. This was actually an experiment, the first one I was ever called in, my daughter did. She came to me and did what all kids in the 7th grade do. Said, Dad, my science project is due in 2 weeks. What are we going to do? Well, this is what we did. I said, okay, Logan, go get some pots. I got the cheapest potting soil I could find. We put this cheap potting soil in both the test and the control. And the only variable we put in was we add lava sand, 20% lava sand to the one on the left. This was Elmont rye. She also did radishes. And in radishes, it was interesting because the top of the plants in the control and the one with the lava sand, the top of the plants were about the same. There was a little bit of color where the lava sand was used, but there wasn't that much difference in the size of the plants. And I said, I don't know what's going on here. Why don't you dig them up and let's look at the roots? Well, the same thing, and I didn't get a shot of it, the same thing was with the radishes as with the grass. Tremendously larger root system, biomass of the overall plant. Tremendously greater by simply adding this ground up